You're watching 3 Questions with Kat.
Hey everyone, it's Catherine Norland and we are back for another episode of 3 Questions with Kat. I've got Khalimah here with me. And Khalimah, what the audience wants to know is what stops people from success?
Such a good question. I think it's 2 things. Failure of succeeding, or the thought of succeeding, right? Like you're so afraid of actually winning, or the fear of failing. The 2 you would think would motivate you to want to succeed, but sometimes you just get in your own way. So I think ultimately it comes down to people getting their own way, psyching themselves out, letting others psych them out instead of just going for it.
So it could be fear of success or it could be fear of failing.
Absolutely.
But it all is starting in your mind, having to do with what you're telling yourself would happen if you succeeded or failed, which keeps you from not even trying.
Literally that.
Good. The second question people want to know is, how do you overcome obstacles? Like if you know this is your obstacle or any other obstacle, how do you get past that? How do you overcome that so you do keep going so you can achieve your goals?
Overcoming obstacles, I think, ultimately comes down to whatever faith you have. Whether it's in yourself, whether it's in God, you have to just anchor back into that faith and knowing that you have a purpose and that whatever that mission is, that those obstacles are a part of it and you just have to go through it. There's no way around it. There's no way to try to avoid it. You just gotta go through it and figure it out. You gotta be very hands-on and just take your time. Nothing is perfect, but you cannot be great if you don't start. And you don't have to be great to start.
That's a Zig Ziglar quote. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start
to be great. That's right.
That's the quote. Okay, so the only way to get over the obstacle is to have faith and just go for it.
Knowing that you can.
Yeah, mindset's is a big one.
Listen, your mind is the most powerful thing you'll ever have. You know, it's such a beautiful thing, and it can be also a very scary place. So whatever you feed it, whatever you choose to be around, the energy, type of people, the things you choose to do, partake in, food, all of it really plays a huge part on your psyche and your mental. And you just got to keep it very safe. Protect your heart, but protect your mind too.
Interesting. I've never heard anybody mention food having a correlation with the mind.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know that it does, but I've never had anyone like I've interviewed mention food. It's kind of an offshoot, but can you speak a little on that? Because I think that's an important topic.
Oh, the food in America and what we eat is very important, and I think we don't talk about it enough. Yeah. There's so much sugar in a lot of stuff, and that messes up your brain a lot, you know, and the functionality of it. And of course, as if you are someone who's vegan or who eats right, Dr. Sebi, you know, keeping your body in an alkalinized state, that hugely helps, especially during the pandemic. If that was what people were doing, you would have avoided the COVID a lot, honestly. So I think that, and I also think that COVID is hugely affecting our bodies, but it affects your mind a lot first. So I think that the food and the things that we do, the medicines we take or don't take, absolutely affects how we choose to feel about ourselves. You eat something, you're like, I feel tired, or I just feel heavy, or my brain feels foggy.
Yeah.
That's food, you know? And it has power.
People don't necessarily know that there's a correlation.
They just think, I'm hungry, I should eat something. And it's like, but what does your body need right now? What does your mind need right now?
That's good. The third and final question I wanted to ask you was, what do you wish you would have known 5 years ago?
Ooh. 5 years ago. Let me think where I was 5 years ago. Was I living in Atlanta? I was. Okay. You know, I think that there's nothing that we don't know already. We have everything we need all the time because God is always provided. But it is this thing that we are so powerful beyond measure. And I wish that 5 years ago I leaned into that even more. I was doing massive things then. But when we talk and you're like, it's such a big dream, I'm like, that's all I really know is to dream big. We only have this one life to accomplish the things we want. So for me, I wish I would have dreamed even bigger 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I agree with that sentiment. Like, if I knew, like you said, how powerful I was back then, I would definitely be at a different place than I am now.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely a message to pass on to you guys, is to know how powerful you are and that you've been playing too small. You've been thinking too small. You've been dreaming too small. And you have everything inside you to accomplish anything you could dream of.
Absolutely.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at home, sleeping, or right now. Well, you can find me on Instagram if you like, Khalimah Official, KHALIMAH Official, or Screening Room LA, Screening Room ATL. Those are also my businesses where I showcase short form content for my community of artists. You can find us at thescreeningroomatl.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time for another episode of 3 Questions with Kat.
Thank you.
Bye.
To overcome your obstacles standing in the way of your success and have the tips you need to reach your dreams.